Stop right there, because the tiny silver-colored coin you've probably ignored your entire life could secretly be worth more than a luxury car. I'm talking about the 1970 British 5 pence, a coin so misunderstood, so mysterious, that in the right form it has delivered big money, hidden treasure, and even life-changing value to the people who knew what to look for. Most people think it's just 5 pence, but what if I told you that some versions of this coin are worth hundreds, thousands, and even tens of thousands of pounds? Here's the strange part. The year 1970 was not a normal year in British coinage. The United Kingdom was preparing for the biggest change in its money system in over 1,000 years. Old pounds, shillings, and pence were about to be wiped out. Decimalization was coming. And behind the scenes, the Royal Mint was experimenting, testing, and quietly striking new coins that were never meant for the public. And that's how the 1975 pence mystery was born. The public never saw a normal 5p in 1970. Officially, the 5 pence coin was first released in 1968. But in 1970, a small number of special 5p coins were struck only for proof sets and internal mint use. Most were never meant to circulate. Many were melted down. Only a handful escaped into collectors' hands. That's what makes this coin a hidden treasure. And if you find one, you're holding big money. Now here's the shocker. A genuine 1970 British 5p does exist, but not the way most people think. It was struck only in proof quality, meaning mirror-like surfaces, razor-sharp edges, and incredible detail. These coins were sold in extremely limited Royal Mint proof sets. And today, a real 1975p proof can sell for £500 to £2,000 depending on condition. But wait, there's something even crazier. There are a pattern version of the 1975p. These were experimental coins struck to test metal composition, thickness, and design. They were never intended for collectors. One of these 1975p pattern coins sold for over £10,000 at a London auction. That's a coin that originally represented 5 pence, now delivering a life-changing value. Oh, how do you tell if your 5p is special? Here's where it gets exciting. First, check the date. If it says 1970, stop everything. That alone makes it extremely rare. Now look at the color. A genuine proof or pattern coin will have a deep mirror-like shine. The fields will look like glass, while the queen's portrait and the crown thistle will be frosted. Next, check the rim. Proof and pattern coins have perfect, squared rims. Normal circulation coins have softer, rounded edges. Now look at the details. On a real 1970 proof 5p, the queen's hair, the crown jewels, and the thistle petals will be razor sharp. If your coin looks dull, worn, or soft, it's likely not the rare version. But if it looks like it was struck yesterday, you could be holding big money. And now let me tell you a story that still shocks collectors. A family in England inherited a small box of old coins from their grandfather. Buried among them was a shiny 1975 pence piece. They assumed it was common, until a dealer noticed something strange. It was a proof strike. They sent it to auction.it, sold for over £1. 205 pence became a life-changing value. But we're not done yet. Some 1975p coins exist with die alignment errors where the front and back of the coin don't line up correctly. These mint mistakes make the coin even rarer. Error proofs like this have sold for £2,000 to £5,000. Then there are off-metal strikes. A few 1975p pieces were struck on the wrong metal blanks. These look different in color and weight. One of these freak errors sold for more than £8,000. That's not luck. That's hidden treasure. Now imagine how many of these are still sitting in old Royal Mint sets, estate collections, and forgotten drawers. Every single one is a potential big money jackpot. So if you ever see a 1970 British 5p, don't walk away, run toward it. Look at it. Study it. Because you might be holding a coin that was never meant for the public, a coin that slipped through history, a coin that now carries life-changing value. Before you spend or ignore any old British coins, go back and check them. Look for that date. Look for that shine. Look for that mystery. And if you want to keep discovering hidden treasure hiding in plain sight, hit subscribe right now, because the next coin I reveal could be worth even more than this one. Stop everything, because the penny you're about to hear about has quietly made ordinary people rich. I'm talking about a 1960 D. Lincoln Memorial penny that looks just like the loose change in your drawer, yet in the right version, it has sold for thousands of dollars, and in ultra-rare forms has become a true hidden treasure with life-changing value. Yes, a single brown little cent, minted in Denver, has shocked the entire coin world. Here's the mystery. In 1960, the U.S. Mint was rushing. America was booming, coins were needed fast, and quality control was stretched thin. Denver was striking millions of pennies every day, and that's when mistakes slipped through. Those mistakes were never supposed to leave the mint. But they did. They went into circulation, mixed with normal pennies, And today they are still being spent without anyone realizing what they really are. And that's why this story is so powerful, because your next penny could be big money. Let me show you what to look for. First, grab any penny dated 1960. Then look under the date. If you see a small D, that means it was struck at the Denver Mint. That little D is your golden ticket. The 1960 D had several secret varieties, and one of them is so rare that collectors fight over it. The most famous one is the 1960 D small date asterisk asterisk variety, TO the naked eye. It looks like a normal penny. But under magnification, the 0 in 1960 is smaller and more oval-shaped, and the numbers sit slightly higher. This was caused by the mint switching dies mid-year. Only a fraction of the Denver coins were struck this way. In circulated condition, a 1960 D small date might be worth $20 to $50. But in high-grade mint condition, these have sold for $3,000 to over $5,000. That's not pocket change. That's life-changing value. But now here comes the shocker. There is an even rarer version called the 1960 D small date over large date. That means the small date was struck over an older large date design, creating a ghost-like double date. You can actually see two different 0 shapes layered on top of each other. Only a handful of these are known. One certified example sold for more than $10,000 at auction. $10,000 from a penny someone once ignored. Now let's go deeper, because this is where the hidden treasure gets real. Some 1960 D pennies were struck with double die errors. This means the die that stamped the coin was misaligned and impressed the design twice. Look closely at Liberty, In God We Trust, and Lincoln's Eye and Beard. If you see thick, doubled letters or a shadow-like effect, you might be holding a true double die error. These coins have sold for $300 to $1,500, depending on how strong the doubling is. And the more dramatic the doubling, the bigger the big money. But wait, it gets crazier. There are also 1960 D pennies struck on the wrong metal. Most pennies should be copper-colored and weigh about 3.11 grams. But a few were mistakenly struck on foreign planchets or experimental blanks. If your penny looks pale, silvery, or unusually light or heavy, don't spend it. A 1960 penny struck on the wrong metal has sold for over $8,000. That's not luck. That's a life-changing value hiding in plain sight. Now here's another jaw-dropping fact. Some 1960 D pennies have off-center strikes where part of Lincoln or the date is missing. These happen when the blank is not properly centered during striking. The more dramatic the misalignment, the more collectors pay. A strong off-center 1960 D penny can sell for $200 to $2,000. Still just a penny. But now it's big money. And there's more. Some 1960 D cents were struck with clipped planchets asterisk asterisk, meaning a chunk of the coin is missing from the edge because the metal sheet was cut incorrectly. These coins look like someone took a bite out of them, and collectors love them. Depending on the size of the clip, these can bring $100 to $1,000. This is why collectors call the 1960 D penny a hidden treasure factory. Now let me tell you a true auction story that will give you chills. A collector in the United States once bought a roll of old pennies at a flea market for just $5. Inside that roll was a 1960 D small date in near-perfect condition. He sent it to be graded, and it came back. MS-67 red. That single penny sold for over $6,000. $5 into $6,000. That's the definition of life-changing value. So how do you know if your 1960 D penny is special? Here's your checklist. Look at the date. It must say 1960. Look for the D mint mark under the date. Check if the date looks small and compact. That's the small date. Use a magnifier to look for doubling in the letters and Lincoln's face. Weigh the coin. If it's not around 3.11 grams, it could be a wrong planchet error. Look at the rim. If it's uneven, clipped, or stretched, that could be big money. And always remember, condition matters. A bright red, shiny 1960 D penny is worth far more than a dark, worn one. That's why some are worth a few dollars, and others are worth thousands. Right now, there are people unknowingly spending these coins every day. Cashiers, kids, collectors, and even banks are releasing hidden treasure back into circulation. And one of those coins could be in your hand tonight. So before you toss that penny aside, before you spend it, before you ignore it, look again. Because the next 1960 D Lincoln Memorial penny you touch could be big money. It could be a hidden treasure, and it could carry a truly life-changing value. Check your jars. Check your rolls. Check your old collections. And if you want to keep discovering coins that can turn ordinary people into winners, subscribe right now, because the next coin I reveal might be worth even more than this one. What if I told you that a simple 2004 Wisconsin quarter, a coin you may have spent at a vending machine or found deep in a drawer, could secretly be worth hundreds, thousands, or more? Most people think it's just a 25-cent coin. But what some collectors know is far more exciting. A rare variety of the 2004 D Wisconsin quarter, with an extra leaf on the corn stalk, has sold at auction for $6,000 and continues to be one of the most famous modern state quarter rarities ever discovered. Some versions have sold for thousands of dollars, while even common uncirculated examples can fetch premiums if graded by PCGS or NG. In this video, I'll take you through Rocket, the true history of the coin Rocket, what makes this quarter special, and Mysterious Rocket, the error and variety coins worth money Rocket, how to identify the rare versions yourself Rocket, actual auction sales and record prices. Most importantly, how you might have one waiting in your pocket change. Stay until the end, because you'll want to check every coin you own after the from 1999 to 2008. The U.S. Mint released a series of quarters to celebrate all 50 states. Each design honors a unique aspect of a state's history, culture, or identity. The 2004 Wisconsin State Quarter was the 30th design released in this series. The 2004 Wisconsin Quarter officially entered circulation on October 25, 2004. Obverse, front heavy checkmark features a profile of George Washington. Like all modern quarters, heavy checkmark, Liberty, heavy checkmark. In God We Trust, heavy checkmark, year 2004. Reverse, back heavy checkmark, a Holstein cow's head, representing Wisconsin's dairy industry. Heavy checkmark, a wheel of cheese, nodding to Wisconsin's famous cheese heritage. Heavy checkmark, an ear of corn with husk, symbolizing agriculture. Heavy checkmark, Wisconsin, 1848, and the state motto, Forward. This design celebrates Wisconsin's nickname, America's Dairyland. The 2004 Wisconsin quarter was minted in two primary facilities, Philadelphia, P. Denver, D. Proof versions were made in San Francisco, S. For collectors. The most valuable versions, including the famous extra leaf varieties, come exclusively from the Denver Mint. At first glance, the 2004 Wisconsin quarter seems ordinary. Billions were struck. But a rare variety turned what was once common into a collector's treasure. Most 2004 Wisconsin quarters, especially regular strikes from Philadelphia or Denver, are worth face value or only modestly more in high grades. But the story gets exciting when we talk about varieties, errors, and mysterious mint oddities. In late 2004, collectors discovered some Wisconsin quarters with an extra leaf on the corn stalk, a feature not part of the original design. This variety became wildly popular and has a documented history of strong auction prices. The extra leaf Wisconsin quarter is mysterious for several reasons. The extra leaf was never official. Experts debate whether it came from accidental die damage or deliberate alteration. The U.S. Mint has never formally explained its origin. There are two versions of the extra leaf: heavy checkmark, extra leaf high, leaf pointing upward, heavy checkmark, extra leaf low, leaf pointing downward. These small differences require close examination to spot. Unlike modern mint errors that are usually caught before release, some quarters with the extra leaf escaped into circulation, meaning everyday collectors could have one without realizing it. Estimates suggest only a few thousand of the extra leaf varieties exist. They were never officially documented by the Mint, so the population remains partly mysterious. Now let's break down the true market values. From most coins to the rarest, most 2004 Wisconsin quarters, especially those without any special variety, are worth $0.25, 50 cents, normal worn coins, $1, $5, uncirculated mid-grade, even mid-grade MS-63. MS-64 coins from NGC or PCGS usually trade for only modest premiums. Coins graded by NGC or PCGS with strong luster and know where can be much more valuable. MS-65, $10, $1.50 plus MS-66, $50, $1.50 MS-67, $150 to $900 plus, depending on grading company and eye appeal. NGC price guide for standard Denver coins. NGC coin. These are the coins everyone talks about. Extra leaf high variety circulated, $50, $1.50 plus uncirculated, $90, $2.75 plus certified, up to $1, $200 in top grades, NGC coin. Extra leaf low variety circulated, $50, $100 plus uncirculated, $100, $300 plus certified top grades, up to $1, $200 plus, NGC coin. The most famous auction results for these varieties include Small Blue Diamond Low Leaf, MS-67, sold $6,000 at Heritage Auctions, 2020, Pioneer Worldwide. Small Blue Diamond High Leaf, MS-66, sold $2,530, 2006, Pioneer Worldwide. Small Blue Diamond Graded Straight Denver Quarter, no variety, up to around $699 at auction. Fox 9 Minneapolis St. Paul, small blue diamond records standard Philly coin, around $1,495. No variety. Fox 9 Minneapolis St. Paul. These prices show how dramatic a rarity premium can be compared to ordinary coins. While the most famous variety is the extra leaf, other error types can also be valuable. Coins struck off-center, where the design is only partially visible, can be worth $50, $500 plus. Depending on severity and date visibility, these errors occur when a planchet shifts before striking. If a coin is struck without a collar, it can spread outward. Values: $75, $300 plus. Based on how dramatic the spread is when a coin is struck twice in slightly different positions. Can fetch hundreds to thousands for dramatic examples. Raised lines or blobs from cracked dies can add value. Typically tens to hundreds, depending on prominence. Each of these error coins must be examined carefully. Sometimes errors that look dramatic are just damage from circulation. Professional grading helps confirm true mint errors. Here's your step-by-step treasure hunter checklist. Laughing face equals Denver. Most extra leaf errors come from here. P equals Philadelphia. No known extra leaf variety from this mint. S equals San Francisco proof. Collector's value proofs 2. NGC coin. The extra leaf appears on the heavy checkmark left side of the ear of corn. Heavy checkmark extra leaf high. Leaf pointing upward. Heavy checkmark extra leaf low. Leaf pointing downward. Coin value checker. Use a magnifying glass or phone macro to inspect the detail. Coins with strong original luster, no scratches, and sharp detail are more valuable, especially in MS66, MS67 range. To truly unlock high values, hundreds to thousands, submit the coin to heavy checkmark PCGS. Heavy checkmark NGC certification confirms authenticity of varieties and assigns an official grade. Let's look at some documented record sales. Moneybag $6,000 at Heritage, January 2020, one of the highest verified prices for this variety. Pioneer worldwide. Moneybag $2,530 at Heritage, July 2006, an early landmark sale. Pioneer worldwide. Moneybag top auction price near $699 in collector sales. Fox 9 Minneapolis St. Paul, moneybag up to $1,495 for an outstanding, full specification example. Fox 9 Minneapolis St. Paul, these show how dramatically prices rise when a coin is either rare condition or rare variety. Most 2004 Wisconsin quarters are still worth 25 cents in everyday circulation, but rare error and variety coins tell a different story. You might be holding hundreds or even thousands of dollars in your hand, because even modern coins from the 2000s can hide rare gems worth big money. Stop scrolling. Your spare change could be hiding a treasure. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating old pennies you can find, the 1945 Lincoln Wheat penny. You might think a penny is just worth 1 cent, but some 1945 pennies have actually sold for more than $20,000 at auction. And if a rare variety or error is involved, the value can spike even higher, potentially to life-changing money. In this video, you'll discover the true history behind the 1945 wheat penny. What makes this coin special and mysterious. Which error varieties bring big prices. How to identify rare coins yourself. Real auction sales and record prices. And how you can check your coins today, so stick with us. One of these pennies might just be worth far more than you ever expected. The Lincoln Wheat penny was first issued in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it became the first regular U.S. coin to depict an actual person. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the wheat reverse stayed in use until 1958. In 1945, World War II was ending, but its effects on coin production were still felt. Earlier in the war, the U.S. Mint used zinc-coated steel for pennies, notably in 1943, but by 1945 production had largely returned to traditional bronze, 95% copper, 5% tin, and zinc. That combination of wartime history and rounded design gives 1945 pennies a strong historical appeal among collectors. The U.S. Mint produced 1945 pennies at 3 facilities: Philadelphia, no mint mark; the most plentiful variety, Denver, D mint mark; San Francisco, S mint mark. Each variety can have different value ranges based on condition and rarity. So why do collectors care about a coin worth only 1 cent? Even though over 1.4 billion 1945 pennies were made combined, most were heavily circulated, scratched, worn, and often tossed aside. Finding one in mint state condition today is rare. Pennies from 1944 to 1945 were struck using metal derived from recycled World War II shell casings, making their metal composition historically significant. Collectors love older coins that connect to major historical events, and 1945 fits perfectly. A snapshot of America at the end of a global war. While most 1945 pennies are ordinary, some rare error coins, like double dies and wrong planchet strikes, can greatly inflate value. Let's be honest, most 1945 pennies each spent in pocket change are worth very little. But the value skyrockets as condition improves and rarities are found. Typical values for everyday coins. Circulated, worn 5 cents. $0.30 about uncirculated. 40 cents. $0.80. These figures reflect common grades where billions of these coins were used. Coins that never circulated and show original mint luster are much more valuable. MS-60, MS-63, $1, $5 MS-64, MS-66, $5, $75 plus MS-67, rare $300 to $6,500 plus, especially in red, RD. Here's where it gets exciting. Pushpin 1945, no mint mark road MS-67 plus, sold for $20,400 at Heritage Auctions in 2022, one of the highest documented sale prices for a 1945 penny. Pushpin MS-67 Plus and MS-68 examples routinely bring hundreds to thousands of dollars, depending on luster and eye appeal. Pushpin errors like off-center or cud strikes also bring premiums, hundreds or more. Note: rumors of million-dollar 1945 pennies are likely confused with other wheat penny rarities such as the famous 1943 bronze cents that have sold for 6 figures, but not for 1945. That if many 1945 pennies were made, why are some so valuable? While billions were minted, most were used heavily. Mint state, MS-65 plus. Survivors are rare because coins were meant to circulate. Finding a truly uncirculated red penny from 1945 is uncommon. Pennies are graded not just by condition, but by color. White medium star RD, red, retains original copper luster. Most valuable white medium star RB, red-brown. Partially toned white medium star BN, brown. Fully toned, and usually less valuable, a red MS-67 coin is far more sought after than a brown MS-67 coin. While 1945 isn't known for the very highest error coins in the wheat penny series, various mistakes, off-center strikes, cut errors, create collectible versions, and some fetch hundreds at auction here are the main error types and varieties collectors look for. This occurs when the die imprints the obverse design twice slightly misaligned. Thdie can be valuable if significant doubling is present, often in date or lettering. Coins that were not perfectly aligned during striking show portions of the design, missing a 15 to 30% off-center 1945 coin can bring hundreds at auction in high grade. A cut occurs where a piece of the die breaks off, creating a raised blob on the coin's surface. 1945 pennies with large, clear-cut errors have sold for hundreds. Rare but extremely valuable when a coin is struck on a planchet mint for another denomination or foreign coin. Collectors might pay significant premiums if verified. Broad strikes, no collar, and clip planchets are less dramatic, but still collectible and worth more than face. Here's how to inspect your penny before assuming it's just another cent. No mark equals Philadelphia D equals Denver's equals San Francisco mint mark can affect value. Red RD coins command the highest value, followed by RB and then BN. Look for doubling on date or letters, raised blobs, cud, off-center design, unusual surfaces. These could indicate errors. Most pennies weigh about 3.11 g. Unusual weight may indicate wrong planchet or error. High-value coins are typically graded by PCGS or NGC. Certification can dramatically increase market value. Real documented sales, not rumors, show how far values can go. Small blue diamond 1945, no mint mark road MS-67 plus, $20,400 at Heritage Auctions, 2022. Small blue diamond MS-67 plus coins often sell in the thousands range if in exceptional condition. Small blue diamond error varieties like off-center strikes and cut errors have sold for hundreds of dollars. Small blue diamond San Francisco 1945 coins in high grades have also fetched over $2,000 plus. Pushpin million-dollar claims are most often linked to other rare Lincoln pennies, like rare 1943 bronze cents, rather than standard 1945 pennies. Most 1945 Lincoln wheat pennies are still fairly common and worth a bit more than face value, especially in circulated condition. But if you find one that is, you could be looking at hundreds or even thousands of dollars in value. The secret is knowing what to look for. Grab your magnifier, check the color, inspect the edges, and compare to online grade guides, because hidden treasures still exist in old change and forgotten collectios.